Right folks, I'm down here on a south coast beach trying to catch a smoothhound. I fished down this way before. I don't have much luck down here. I have even less luck because the wind's come up. It's very, very, very hot, so I'm hoping that I've picked the conditions, but I've had to put this up. I brought this with me. As you can see, it's windy, you'll hear nothing other sound otherwise. I'm near to a rocky out, quite big, wide, semicircular beach, sweeping beach. No anglers here yet, but the guy in the tackle shop said there's really, really good chance of smoothhound, and that's what I've come for. The downside is I drove like an hour and 3/4, phoned the tackle shop. He said, no, you won't need to book any worms, we've got plenty of worms. I go in, you know what the story is, you people there. We've got no worms, they're being dug, they're not coming in for 3 hours. I've just driven nearly 2. And I'm on a short gap, you know, I've got about, trying to squeeze 5-6 hours in. It's the way it is, folks, I'm totally awesome fishing. However, he did say, which I sort of know if I'm boat fishing, you don't need ragworm really, you don't need peeler crab really. You know, specialist anglers use that, but he said if there's enough around, they will take squid. And he had a friend out here, I think last night or the night before last, that was catching on squid. So, I've got 2 rods there, I'm going to throw them out, I'm going to have something to eat. I haven't even had lunch yet, and it is 10 to 5 in the evening. High tide is, I think it's about just after 10. I'll probably stay to about an hour down. If I haven't had anything, then I've blown out yet again down here. Because if you're a local, no problem. You know when to come, when not to cast, where to cast, all that business. I don't. So fingers crossed I'm going to get lucky. I'm going to get these 2 out. Won't get a lot of talking done, I don't guess, which is unusual for me because of the amount of wind. I'll put the head cam on as well, but that's even worse for wind. Didn't expect this breeze to be up, but it's thermal from the heat inland. It's been 30 degrees today. What can I say? It's ideal, allegedly, for smoothhounds, but not with so much with the wind. Listen, you got to be in it to win it. I've driven down there, I've done the petrol, I'm going to sit here and catch or not catch. Let's get it out. Right, so I'm holding this umbrella, hopefully you're getting all this. I've got 2 baits out. I've got one, sort of half one of those squid on a pulley pen rig, and then I've got 2, I call them long drops, which is like one big long snood of about 2 feet at least with a single hook, not 2. But what I'm going to do, and you have to be careful when you're fishing for smoothhounds, is getting the rod pulled over and disappearing into the water. Still there. Get yourself a plastic bag. I've got some old, sort of, I'm going to call it crab line, corline, nylon, whatever. Fill them up with some stones, and then you can tie that up, and obviously tip it out every time you move your rod back. That would at least give you some ballast there to stop your rod getting pulled over. Because sometimes, if you're on, let's say, go down Somerset where I go hound fishing and down there, you've got plenty of big boulders that you can put onto the base of the tripod. Yes, still there. This way sometimes it's hard, isn't it? It's like maybe hard sand and stone and grit. You can't really dig it in, and you can't really scrape enough up to put it down on the back part of the back leg as ballast. Easy, plastic bag and a piece of corline like this. And of course, doubles up. You can take your rubbish back in it. If you catch any fish worth keeping, you can put those in it, take it back. Always take the plastic back. We're an hour in and no bites. I put out a whack-a-noster rig, which is 3 small hooks close together, little bits of squid on just to see what's out there. I've got absolutely shrouded in weed on the end gear twice. Not huge tidal drag pulling out of position, but it's only just up about an hour from the bottom of the tide, so it's just starting to flow. I fear it might get worse. There's not one angler in sight. Why is this? And there's supposed to be fish everywhere. I find that strange. Either I'm way too early or there's a lot more weed and everybody else is going home. But what I have got that's a little bit different is this. Take you down that. I've got this umbrella, so otherwise you're going to hear nothing, absolutely nothing. So something different here is what you can see. I've got a buzzer bar, like a freshwater buzzer bar, just electrical taped onto the top of the rod rest there, where the ewes are. You can use what you want, tape, you know, duct tape, anything, just hold it on there. And I'm just trying different things. I love trying different things. And as you can see, rods are pulled well over there. But of course, by having that buzzer bar on there, it actually gives me a whole new option of looking away and not seeing a bite. This buzzer bar actually has 3 attachments there, you might be able to see that. So I could actually put that here if I had another holder, but I don't. It's on the wrong side, so I can only use 2. This particular one is well, I've had them years. In fact, I'm not even sure they're mine or Mike's. They've got an adjusted nut here as well, so that you can screw them in and then tighten them up and take up the last little bit of play using that locking nut there. There could be a huge new market for this, for somebody who wants to get this organised for a beach fisherman. You're going to need, I'm going to say, a much deeper V up here. Then all I do is switch it on. Of course here, on the beach, I can have it nice and loud. Like that. I put it in here. I can back off the drag a bit here. Look. So if I do get a slam intake and I happen to be filming looking up the beach or rigging a bait, I could probably hear that, make me turn around. I think my wife could hear that at home. I love it. I can play a tune. Of course, I've still got to keep my eye out for the middle one. I'm getting weeded up big time here. My plumber came down, I don't know, a month ago, did really well. But he said he had to put the rods away for an hour to let the weed go through. It did eventually clear. But, you know, if you're down here on a week's holiday or 4 days holiday, you can afford to just put the rods away. If I'm on a 5-hour trip, I put the rods away, that's another hour lost. So I'm slightly concerned how much weed's out there. The general British, I'm talking beach fishing scenes. Look, going down the West Country, there's fish climbing up the car parks. You know, there's no problem down there. When you come up, what I call general South Coast, I find, other than the specialist anglers who go out in the middle of the night with top baits, Joe Average doesn't catch very much. I know, because I talk to them up and down the beach. They come out, throw a bait out, just want to catch anything, and even with small hooks, it's a bit of a struggle out there. But this time of year, it should be good. It should be good. Because then we all moan and say, wait till the winter, there'll be cod. I'd have to Google those, find out what they look like. Just need to see one good tap, one good bite to give you hope. But it could be as dusk comes, and that's the reason I come for basically anything that happens after about 8:30 in the evening through to dark. That's what I'm hoping. I'll turn it this way. You no doubt can hear the wind in the mic. Well, I couldn't be bothered, so I put my back out a bit, lifting bags of sand, I think, for Mike, or ballast. Who knows, pushing the wheelbarrow full of wet concrete, that's a good one, that is, for bad back. Woke up, got in, checked all the computer stuff, went to get out of the chair. I can't move. I'm sure some of you with bad backs will know what it's like, but it's a long time since I've had one, so I'm well overdue to get it back again. But it's annoying because I've had to cut back on my gear a bit and couldn't get really where I wanted to, which is a long way further down. So, look, another guy in the tackle shop's telling me porcupines go in the middle of the beach. No problem, you'll catch loads. Yeah, okay, I'm just concerned there's no other anglers, unless the other anglers turn up 3 hours before the top of the tide to an hour or so down, you know, when it drops back down again. I may be early, I've come early because I've driven a long way, and I'm fishing the flood tide up literally from the bottom of the tide. If you're local, you know exactly, oh, don't waste your time there, you'll just get weed. Yeah, I can see that, I agree. But you never know, there might be a fish in amongst it. We'll find out later on if some other anglers turn up. And of course the worms, the guy said, won't be delivered, would be till 6 o'clock. Well, it's now 10 past 6, so those guys aren't even coming down yet. I reckon they'll come down, I reckon about 8 o'clock. I reckon they'll come out for 2, if they're locals, they can come down for 3 hours fishing, I can't. The wind's a bit annoying, it kills the cast a bit, and although it's very, very warm air, it's still a bit cool for Uncle Graeme. I think those crabs are going to go through my squid. I bought 2 packets because I couldn't sit around waiting for the worms. And they're going to chew the worms as well, and they're even more expensive. I think about £20 a pound. So that's £20 to feed the crabs a lot of the time. I'm on grip leads, by the way, guys. I'm on these grip leads here. Again, because I've done the back, I've cut back on a flask of water, a little bit of food, another half a dozen grip leads. I thought, well, if I lose 6 grip leads, I might as well go home. I've tried to cut back as much as I can. I've still got too much gear. My tide is well up, 8.25. I had a set of bream bites on these small hooks. Nothing at all. I'm not so stupid that I haven't bought a backup plan. This one's Hobgoblin Ruby. Not one angler in sight, to be honest. It gets better. The ring pull won't work. Almost funny, this trip, isn't it? That's not funny, but it will come open. Better use a bait knife. Hobgoblin, ruby and squid. Well, where there's a bait knife, there's a way. One fish, you think we'll just get one fish, wouldn't you? I've got a feeling this is one of the most unluckiest beaches I've ever had the misfortune to fish. The way things are going, a dog will come up and knock my beer over. Yeah, the boat that went past is still way out there. But it's making such a bizarre noise. They came in and I thought we were drifting for mackerel. And the wind, as happens a lot of summer evenings, does actually go down because the ground and the land inside us, you know, cools off, and that stops it getting a thermal draft going up. It's basically what happens in the summer when it's really hot, and it has been hot. I'm amazed actually, so I live inland, I don't live anywhere near the sea. People think I do, but I don't. I'm like 50 miles from near the sea, unfortunately. And what happens is the land heats up inside, so that's going up, and that sucks and draws water, draws the wind, the air across the ocean like this, and then back up into the air. And that's what gives you it's called a sea breeze, and that's what it is. But it's a bit annoying for the microphone, but it is what it is. It's a beautiful evening, really, really nice. No people now. Looks like odd people walking around. When I say odd, not odd peculiar, but just odd people. One up there, a couple up there. Can't blame them. Just don't understand why the rod tops are not rattling. One little batch of bream bites chewing away and then nothing. I've got all the baits out. They've always saying about that boat, I think it must be bass fishing, because I've got a feeling the buzzing noise I can hear is a live bait pump going. So maybe they're out there drifting with live mackerel or something like that. Either that or their only outboard engine is not an outboard engine, it's the wife's hairdryer or something. It's a weird sound. What I don't understand is it's the middle of July. It's really, really hot. I mean, like 30 degrees today. It doesn't look it. It's got a hoodie on because I feel the cold. But not inland, by the shore. There should be splatterings of mackerel. There should be, you know, little bass chasing whitebait close to shore. What has happened to the UK beach fishing, the shore fishing? As I say, along the south coast on a 200-300 mile stretch, it is most peculiar. There are occasions where the mackerel will go up into different estuaries chasing bait. It's very, 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 where's the bite? The wave on the tripod. Very rare. It just doesn't happen. Like when I was a kid, I used to go spinning off Hayling Island Beach, catch mackerel. Used to fish very, very light, what's called Narsley bomb on a flowing trace, 3 feet, piece of ragworm, or the whole of half ragworm. Just throw it out off the groins. 3 pound bass, 2.5 pound, 2.5, 3 pound bass. Just, it's so tough now, it makes me wonder what is going on out there. Come on, one fish, give me a break. The drive all this way. The only consolation I've got is that I haven't wasted ragworm money getting chewed up by the crabs, because they are demolishing the squid. It's a wonder I'm not getting the hooks cut in two. Getting near the time to move this rod rest back. Well, update people. You've heard the saying, going from 0 to hero. I haven't even gone from hero to 0. I haven't even got to 0. Nothing at all on the baits, but the big thing is the weed has stopped now, so that's pretty good, the fact the weeds stopped coming through. But I'm still getting crabbed. I've gone through nearly a whole packet of squid there. About one more cast left, and then that's about it. So nothing to report at the moment, and the time is, it's about 7:45. A couple of hours, and I think I've had enough. Well, I've even taken the sunglasses off. I've got the yellow hat, lucky yellow hat on. Made no difference whatsoever. You can probably see there, this is still working, but you've only got to touch that, just there. And the bream bites I was getting on this Zippo, absolutely nothing. The benefit is I'm getting no weed at all, but my goodness me, the crabs are stripping on about a quarter of the way through my other packet of squid. They're just chewing everything up. It's a superb evening. I cannot believe it's the middle of July. Look at the beach. 9 o'clock. There should be people swimming, messing around, surfboards, jet skis. What is going on in the world? It's like sort of COVID. There's nobody. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am so grateful. No noise, no jet skis, no chainsaws, no people. I mean, it's brilliant, but it's just the other thing that there is a no of, there's no fish. Evening flood tide on a summer beach and not seeing a hint of a mackerel, a bass. Young Kitty was spinning, nothing. We went spinning for mackerel and bass, nothing. Water's pretty clear. Let me show you the water. Water's pretty clear. Gargantuan chunk of weed there, which I definitely don't need on my line. It's the size of a tabletop. If that starts, I'm off home. It could be El Blanco tonight. I mean, the height of excitement tonight is a can of hobgoblin that I managed to get open with a dirty bait knife. That's the excitement of the evening. Maybe there's millions and millions of bream 4 inches long, and they will strip everything like piranhas. Immature black bream. Now, just see a little tap on that. Oh wow, this has got to be, I'm going to turn this straight round. I just did a shot of the sunset. Look what's happened to the sky. Oh my God. That's got to be worth filming. It's like some sort of nuclear explosion. That's happened in like 30 seconds. It's as red as volcanic lava. That is bizarre. That's happened in about 30 seconds since I looked at it. In fact, there's somebody else up there. There's somebody else over here, just there. Can you see them? Just there. They're taking, there must be a fabulous sunset. It's either a person taking a sunset or a piece of wood hammered in the ground, Graham. You should have gone to Specsavers. Maybe the piece of wood is actually photographing the sunset. That's the highlight of the trip, that's weird. No, there are people up there. There are indeed people watching that very same weird sky. I thought I did see somebody up there. It's not often in the UK you get something as bizarre as this. Global warming gone mad. Well, this camera doesn't show it's dark, but it is dark. So I can put this on. Look, I can put the floodlight on, so I turn it out. There'll be a bit of light. Well, the camera won't really light up here, but it'll give you an idea. Look, if I put the floodlight on, you can see it is in fact just getting dark. But another reason, the idea of these bite indicators, as you can see, just got to touch them. It's just something that will be, I think they need obviously a bigger U section here to take the rod blank, because obviously a beach blank is much wider, isn't it, than an ordinary one. And down here, maybe that needs dropping. I'll put that back on now. You can see what I mean though. There's got to be potential there, look. More for people that are looking away, but this is the type of light, if you didn't want to keep a light on, you can leave them in the dark. Now if you were fishing close in, say for bass, you're fishing close for bass to shore, you might not want a light like this. Some people think the lights spook the fish. I personally don't, but then some people do. So that would be an excellent idea for using that. Unfortunately, it's not doing enough for me. I'm just getting shredded by, I think, all green. I'm getting smaller and smaller, but the squid's not great for cutting into strips. I can't catch anything. I just cannot catch anything. Look, small hooks. Even the big baits are getting shredded. Yeah. Won't give you much longer if I start getting all this stuff come through. The thing is, the guy turn this around. The thing is, the guy came down with his wife, was just talking to him. He used to fish here. I drive 3 hours for the hound fishing here years ago, before they put the big rocks out there, the breakwater, and he said it's really good. He said you wouldn't dream of leaving home without a bucket full of peeler crabs. But now they just take squid. But he said what's happened, although I was told to come down here on this beach by the guy, where they're catching them, he's got the info, is about 4 miles, 5 miles further along at Bracklesham, rather than where I am, which is Chelsea. So the fish have all moved down and I'll be in the wrong place. I think I know that. I think I know that by the bare hooks and the lack of action. You always live in hope, you know, that there could be one fish out there with my name in it. I fear not. I'm nearly out of bait now. Look, the water's still coming up. With a wet backside too. Oh, that'd be a nice drive home. It could even be gilthead, you know, there could be gilthead bream. Small things like this, real small, like you get in the tropics. Anyhow, let's get sorted out. Still a nice evening, but I mean, the thing is, I can go carp fishing anytime. I was going carp fishing, overnight carp fishing. I can do that anytime. The carp aren't going anywhere, they're stuck in the lake, aren't they? You know you're going to catch on boilies and stuff. It's just nice to come out. And if fishing in the wild like this, you don't know what you're going to catch, and yes, very often it's nothing. It's going to clip so right. It's always going to happen, and it's happened. Guys, I'm so made up. I'm seriously made up, because not only have I saved the blank winding in, but I was and it's a foul hook fish, it's not even hooked in the mouth. I knew there were small fish out there. It's a pulley pedal rig, and I'm going to call that, let me tune that light down a bit, because that's tickled me pink, that has. I'm calling that, it might be a gilthead bream, somebody like Wayne will know. I mean, it's just hooked through the side. So I knew there were small fish eating away, and I knew I'd need really. Oh, let's get the hook out of this cat. There you go, guy. Somebody tell me. I don't think it's a black bream. There we go. What do you think? Maybe it's an immature black bream. I've saved the black. I cannot believe that. 1 3/4 hours driving, 6 or 7 hours fishing, 12 quid for a squid. I've caught a fish. You don't look too happy, I must admit. I'm going to put him back. Guys, I can't tell you, I'm so pleased. I knew I was getting chewed and chewed and chewed. Back you go, buddy. Probably get eaten by a big bass now. Wow. As they say, get in. Just. Well, I've got a head torch, guys, so I think I'm going to call it quits. It's coming out to 11 o'clock, so tide's sort of about 40 minutes down. Nothing at all, just getting stripped by these micro bream, and I know I'm in the wrong spot now, that guy's told me, so it sort of killed it off for me, so I do apologise for not catching any fish. However, I'm sure to put something else up. It could be needlework, pallet building, tablecloths, I don't know, or a little bit of fishing as well. But at least I've been out giving it a go, as you know. Just draining when you don't get bites. Right, I'm going to pack up, go switch off. I'm going to think of something else to put on this programme to make up for it. Dismal failure, and a booty as well. Well, you wouldn't think one little fish would keep a man so happy, but it did, because it's just enjoyable catching something that you think's been nibbling away at the bait out there, and indeed that's probably what was out there. Hordes and hordes and hordes of these little, whatever they were, might have been immature black bream probably, but on the night I thought, wow, it might be a baby gilthead bream. Now, I think it's probably a small black bream, an immature one. Anyway, something different now. You know, I'm going to do these double bill ones on a Wednesday. I'm going to try and put up something different and random. I went to a stately home. I was meeting somebody there to do another film on, I don't want to say what it is because it's a secret at the moment. I'm going to put it up later on a country, sort of country project if you like. Only happens 3 times a year I think in the country, and I thought I'm going to drive all that way. Anyway, it's a big stately home. Join me as I stroll around the gardens pretending it was mine. Pretty impressive gardens as well. It's hard to believe people actually would build a monster property like this to live in. It's almost too big, isn't it? I don't care how many rooms it's got. Look at it. Monumental project to build that years ago. I'll pan around. It's going to be windy, so I'll probably mute the sound, but you can see this view. It's stunning. Now I don't mind a bit of lawn mowing, but this is some lawn. Look at the size of these. I can see here. This is something to do with fishing. If you look carefully, this poor man is sobbing. He's just lost the biggest catfish of his life. Look. Poor man, I feel sorry for him. I think the hook pulled in 1754. I wouldn't like to say what they're getting up to, but that was how it was back then. And there's goat man or sheep man or donkey man, I'm not sure. I don't know what the sculptor was smoking years ago to be able to carve that, but good luck to him. The view across there is really sort of something you expect to see deer running across and go hunting, bow and arrows, not with a sniper rifle, it's too easy. Hunting at dawn or dusk with a bow and arrow. And then venison for tea. Wow, it's windy. Now these strange creatures, I keep calling them griffins. Who knows what they are? These sort of stone carvings of what appears to be something out of Game of Thrones, with a huge parrot-like beak and claws. Here you can see it's a farming thing and they're killing a pig or whatever. They're dismembering something over a table there. I assume a pig. This guy's got pheasants or something over his shoulder, so it's hunting. This guy's been trying to play Crossroads from Eric Clapton, but he hasn't quite succeeded. Not quite sure what that gentleman's doing, holding some sticks, maybe planting something. Another guy's playing a flute or chewing a banana, one or the other. Who knows what went in back in those days, but I do like a bit of the old architecture like this. It's nice to see angular square corners and vertical. And one thing that did catch my eye was, when I do properties, don't I, it's drain pipes. I'm looking at the drain pipes. You can see the camera homing in on the drain pipes. And why is that, you might ask? Because I don't see many square drain pipes. There's a round one on the right and a square one on the left. I thought they were lead, but no, I don't know what they are. Galvanised tin, I guess. So there you go. You've seen square drain pipes, which you don't find in too many places. A lot of pillars there as well. It's certainly an impressive building. This is one of those grand entrances. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you the world's best fisherman. Yes, GP. Now, what are these kiddies doing here? They're not crocuses. What are they? It can't be. I know September's gone quick, but it can't be February yet. Avenue of lime trees, elm trees. I'm calling those elm trees. Had some on one of our other properties. Big house, old Victorian house. And if you park the car on them, they got sticky juice. It used to be underneath would be sticky juice dripping onto the car windows. So probably so big they've actually got their own little cemetery here by the look of it. And here's some of the, at least I'm out of the wind. This is nice. Look, now there's a view and a half, people. Look through there. Gives you an idea of how grand the actual building is in relation to where it's situated. And it is the same old thing, you know, with properties, isn't it? It's what they say, location, location. Look at the bark on this one. Is that a yew tree? Somebody tell me. Just by looking at these, that's the idea of the size of my hand. Look. Am I right in calling that a yew tree? Can I appear clever and look at the label, but I can't find a label, so somebody's got to Google that tree. Almost like a eucalyptus bark on it, as you can see, that sort of flakes off. I would say it's very, very old. These are beautiful, these cyclamens, are they? Are they called a cyclid? Something like that? Cyclamen? No, cyclid's a fish, Graeme, it's a fish. Cyclamen. Oh, there's a statue placed through there. I've got to go and look at that. Bearing in mind, not seeing this in the... This is in the autumn when everything's sort of going back. But they've got some lovely colours here. Grasses. Look guys, anybody's bored, switch off. I'm not bothered. I'm filming this anyway. If you want to watch it, watch it. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. I just thought, you know, it might be... I just thought it might be something different to see these things. This would be a very nice area to have a fun family barbecue. Through here, I guess, is the garden. I guess is nice. I don't know whether I'm supposed to go in here or not. Oh yeah, here's the guy that asks you. He comes up to you, have you got your fishing permit, mate? A nice cheerful bailiff with a happy bailiff smile. Now this must be nice in the summer because it's like a sort of high walled herbaceous border. There's beautiful flowers here for the time of year. Look at those. Stunning colours. Probably coming to the end of the flowering season for those. I don't know, there's a few yet to open. Again, anybody out there, Google them up. Now, you haven't seen the film yet, but I was down filming along an area of Hayling Island, and a woman stopped and I saw her. She's fascinated by something there, and I asked her, what is it, your photograph? Yeah, the lady said that, look at these yellow colours here. She said, I've got a camera ID, there's an app that I can identify insects and plants. So somehow she photographs the plant or insect, whatever it is she's after, and it tells you exactly what it is. One assumes with a Latin name as well. Can I get in there? There's people in there, I don't know how they get in. I walk down the end. And it gives you like an identification app on your phone. For instance, you could go with this. We all know it's a bumblebee, but there might be other plants here you can photograph like that, and this app tells you apparently what it is. There's a real mishmash of plants here. I'm doing this autumn, in the autumn. Nice to see there's still a bit of colour left. Let's have a look down the end here. Oh, this is a nice quiet little area here. We've got a work area around the back. Look how they made a screen at the back here. Now listen, people, let me know in the comments page if you're interested in seeing this sort of stuff. I'm just doing this in between fishing trips. If you're interested in seeing these sort of things and maybe having a look around some of these stately homes, gardens, I mean, I like it because it's the outdoors. It's a de-stress zone, isn't it? Let's face it. Anybody who gets outside, it's a de-stress zone, definitely. If you'd like to see more of that, let me know. Gladly, I will do it. And this is about the only place on the whole side that's out of the wind at the moment. Well, let's check out that garden in there. You see, I always figure if I don't go around filming this stuff, nobody's going to know. There might be people that aren't able to come and see these sort of places. It's like fishing, you know, where I go fishing. Not everybody, you know, wants the same species of fish, do they? Sea fishermen don't want perhaps coarse fishing, freshwater. Trout fishermen don't want to see sea fishing. But I try and mix it up because I enjoy mixing things up. Here's the old way of telling the time. Go all the way around here with like a clock, and when the sun is out it throws a shadow. As most people who've been to school should know, it will throw the shadow, and the shadow tells you about what the time is. So that's a sundial. Imagine wearing that on your wrist. So this appears to be a rose garden. Obviously, look, get near the end of it. Lavender. If you touch it, you can smell the lavender smell. Oh, let's just have a sit and take in the ambience of lugging camera bags around with me and umbrellas. Oh, and a wet AWS. Nice. I'll tell you another thing I noticed, another random comment from Graeme, is that to me in February yellow is one of the first colours to come out. Gorse bushes, broom, that sort of thing. And I find it strange that here, yes, the red's out, but it's sort of predominance of colours, maybe the yellows. What do you think? So is that the beginning and the end of the flowering and growth season is yellow? I don't know. Answers on a postcard. So basically, people, I'm trying to film all these things as best I can before our winter shuts it all down. It all goes horrible. So probably a bit more of October to go. A lot of the shows I've been going to, which you guys won't have seen yet, I'm holding it all back, they're sort of finishing end of September. By the time you see this, it will be the end of September. Yeah, just behind me here I've seen, this takes me back to Ireland, the Dingle Peninsula. There's a better one I can show you up here. Like a fuchsia, they have sort of wild fuchsia bushes growing over there. And this is the time, absolutely, when these are out in Ireland on the west coast, basically all the southwest of Ireland, to go bass fishing in the surf. So that takes me back 40 years. But it's sad, isn't it? I reckon I must do these things. I must go to Ireland bass fishing and all that, and the surf, put the chest waders on, firing out the lugworm, digging the lugworm, going and have a beer at night, some food, lighting the peat fire in the autumn, which is now. I've got to do these things. The years are just racing past, people. And a lot of you guys out there, they probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but it's the very soul of surf bass fishing, Ireland, southwest corner. It's where it all happened years ago. It was the place to be. Now here's one, it's a classic. App ID, look at that one. I have no idea what it is. But it is sort of quite exquisite, is it not? Looks sort of foxglovey. Maybe there's somebody out there that could take a still off of this, off our YouTube picture, ID it on those app things, and tell us what it is. Beautiful flower. That is one big rose garden. This looks like the live bait tank. We kept some. Oh man, it's better than the live bait tank. £17.50 in there. Looks like the veg area, which has obviously been cleared out. I'm calling these cold frames, guys, and there's the doors for them. So I used to do quite a bit of vegging, not quite on this scale obviously, but we used to have a cold frame, and you get smaller ones which are the curved archways called cloches, and then you get the cold greenhouse, or if you heated it, obviously it was hotter, but it's half brick and half glass. And this one is for flower cutting and dried flowers. There's an old building just here, like original. There's no public access, it says, but you can see the. Take a look at that closer up. Nice old building. I wonder if that was like staff members, staff building, gardeners. I think that is the gardeners' building. And GP is again totally correct because it's called Garden Cottage. I guess the head gardener lived there. Very nice too. Walked straight out and did all the plants and veg. I've grown many rhubarb clumps like this, and generally I find if you split them up to replant them, it's 2 years before you can cut them. But in fact you don't cut them, we used to pull them when you know they're done, and then they get too old. You have to pick them when they're young, then obviously they'll be tough. But we used to put the crown in the ground, I put a bucket over it so that it forced them, it made them force for the light, with a tiny hole drilled in the top of the bucket, and put it over the crown, not like this when it's all grown. You'd force it for about a month, and then you'd take the bucket off. Obviously like strawberries or raspberries in there because they got it all netted off. This is their sort of work area. You can see they've got great big huge areas for composting, I imagine, where they clear out the plants over there that's left over. When they're all dead they put them in there, and I imagine different grades of compost that they're going to reuse in the gardens. There's a strange one. There's a saying, The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Well, that one does, because there's not an apple in sight. No apple trees.
Probably for the garden, I would imagine.
I guess this is what's, I guess it's a sort of rewilding area all around here. More sort of bit of natural woodland. Any amount of species of trees in here. Oh, it looks like Mike's built this one on TA Outdoors. Nice bit of thatch in there. It's totally covered over with the chicken wire. I can imagine and say that's to stop the birds pulling all the straw out to make nesting material. This is probably all the original wood. I'm going to say this is oak. Let's have a rest. Fair old walk. It's nice to be out the wind. Bet there's some fairly tasty spiders in there as well, look guys. I say yes, they're all going to come out at night. And more than a hint of woodworm, I would say there. But listen, because it's dry, bone dry, I'm saying this is all going to be original here. I think I'm going to take a look in the house as well. I'm going to give that a go to find out what's in there. But you can see there are huge gardens here, and it's just nice just to be able to walk around. It's not as good as fishing obviously, but it's in the outdoors, and really that's what matters. I've got to check the map because I have no idea where I am. A huge, and I do mean huge, giant stone type bowl there. I guess with a lead top there. It's lead. What on earth is that for? It is monumental. Like a giant mine. Is it a preserve? They're preserving something or other. I shall have to look it up. Here you can see an absolutely enormous croquet lawn. It's about the size of 2 football pitches. It's huge. And that was the game that was played yesteryear. We used to have it when I was a kid, but I couldn't get hang of it. Well, it appears the rain's gone through a bit, so it's a really nice, secluded little seating areas like this. That's what I do like about this place. Little areas you can go and just sit, chill. If I sat here, this is by the croquet lawn, look, there's a nice seat, I'm out of the wind. Goodness me, look at the view I've got. The house is through there. I could just sit here, bring my packed lunch or something, sit quietly and take it all in. Love these big trees here, pine trees, fir trees. They're not pine trees, are they? Somebody tell me, you know what I'm like, information. This absolutely had to be a hunting estate, didn't it? A massive statue there, a deer, a guy's holding a bow. Is it a compound long pressure pulley bow? No, it's just a standard English longbow. He's about to take an arrow out of his sheath, and I wonder why. Because he's already got a deer. But it could be like fishermen. You want another one, don't you, as soon as you got that. Love the shoes, mate. Love them. 2 strips of leather. He's even cut his toenails. He can't be that significant because he hasn't got a name. And these things down here, look, I call them griffins. What does other people call them? This is a sunken garden area, I think. They're all over the place, these things. These will be all the original stones there, guys. Goes all the way down. Well, it would do, Graham. It's a hillside, of course it's going down. Oh well, be like that then. This is the original flagstones. It goes all the way up to Griffon Caller. Griffin. Another one, guys. Look it up for me. The most unusual cones I've seen, and a lovely colour of pine needle. So it is a pine needle one. Who knows what that one is? I can't see the nameplate. Somebody must know. Get on that Google and tell us. Oh, there's some around here. I thought those were the pine cones. What are these things? Look how big they are. Like a sort of miniature hummingbird nest, they're so huge. Well, if that's not the cone there, what are those? Do these, this size, turn into those? Well, those gardens on those big places are sort of astronomically huge, aren't they? And it's just nice to see something, an old part of England, as it were, you know, the old, I like the layout of the gardens, the sort of rose gardens. I suppose I like the formality of it. I'm not one for all those metal and glass square window type things. I like views, don't get me wrong, but yeah, contemporary, that's the word. I can't spell it, but that's the word. I'm not really into all that modern contemporary stuff. No, I like traditional stuff. Guys, thanks for watching this. Hope it's a bit of interest and gets you through another nearly an hour on this one. Next film will be hopefully a big fish one I'm going to put up. So keep watching, hit the subscribe button. TA Fishing, TA Outdoors, the Life of Mike channel. It's all there for you people. And of course, if you want to support us with a bit of merch, you can. If not, don't worry. I'm going to make the films anyway. See you guys next time.